The one thing I was curious about though was your take on Helldivers, because I know you've made videos about this, kind of covering like the politics of it and the reception that it's gotten, I suppose, because a lot of gamers, as I understand it, like they can take the satirical elements of it and say, well, yeah, okay, this is making fun of like the sort of pro-military jingoistic propagandism that you get in totalitarian regimes, but also just have a lot of fun blowing up bugs with big guns and not really care about what the developers might be trying to say or what people might be trying to interpret from it. There's probably that base human instinct towards, hey, it's kind of fun to just blow up a nasty looking enemy and win, you know.
I think developers and just progressives generally tend to forget that not everyone agrees with them with everything. And so when they present something, they say, hey guys, isn't this bad? To their fellow progressives, they'll go, haha, that is bad. Look at my media literacy. But to people who don't think it's bad, they'll go, no, that's great. I agree with that, actually. So blowing up an alien race that wants to consume all of humanity or whatever, no, that's a good thing from my perspective, because I'm not a weird communist. And so, yeah, no, we should kill them all. So when they're like, haha, isn't this silly? It's like, no, that's actually good, and I endorse it. Genocidal alien races need to be defeated. I'm very, very
I hate the trend. Every time we bring up an evil race at a big dev studio, it's always like, well, are they really the baddies though? I mean, maybe they're just sensitive.
They're misunderstood, you know.
It's like, no, why can't we just have bad guys? We want to blow up bad guys.
Yeah, no, it's they really hate the idea that there can be an unnuanced villain, as in someone who I mean, and the thing is, when it comes to like Starship Trooper style bugs, what's the nuance? No, they're an evil alien race that wants to consume the human race, and so we as the humans are justified in fighting them. There's no moral complexity here, and they are desperate to introduce it for some reason. There's something about like the positive assertion of our own moral status that they have a problem with. And
it's not believable to them, but it's believable. But it's not about being believable. It's about the refreshing fantasy of having black and white morality in a video game where you blow stuff up. That is liberating, because we are constantly walking on eggshells and we need to blow off steam.
I mean, look at like the greatest fantasy stories are always just really black and white in the morality. I mean, no one's like, well, maybe Darth Vader's really the good guy in Star Wars. Maybe
Sauron.
Well, maybe we can hear him out.
Have you heard about Sauron's mother?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do you know what happened to him?
Maybe you would have some sympathy for once.
Exactly, and actually, a lot of human morality actually isn't very complex. I mean, there are whole industries of NGOs that are dedicated to getting people on death row off of death row. It's like, yeah, okay, but every single one of these people is absolutely convicted of something fucking monstrous. And so it's like, right, actually I'm okay with those people being on death row, because like, someone who's killed a kid or something like that, it's really horrible. And it's not morally complex at all. These are really evil people and they deserve what they're going to get.
I think as well, like, if you were to take something like Starship Troopers or Helldivers, because they're basically synonymous with each other, as your framework for this, right? Mm-hmm. What's your choice here? Is it a human, what you've essentially got, like a totalitarian regime with a veneer of like, we're preaching democracy and freedom, that's just propaganda, versus genocidal alien insectoids that want to eat your face? It's not a perfect choice. It's not a utopia that you're choosing here, but I'm probably going to side with the humans on this one, just on the basis that they don't want to eat me.
On what grounds is it not a perfect choice even, though? It's like, okay, I mean, these are an existential threat that are trying to kill me. I don't really have a choice. It's not about morality anymore. It's about survival. Yeah. And surely that any creature has got the moral imperative to preserve itself. So I'm not even. I don't
Not-
even need to have a conversation about it.
Not the Wokies. They have an imperative to destroy themselves.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? But the thing is, you with the woke types, you've got to remember they're desperate to live in some kind of Star Trek universe where everything can really be done rationally. Well, we can actually just have a conversation with the enemies. Which even in Star Trek that doesn't work.
Well, did they work it out with the Borg? I was just going to ask.
Exactly. Do they work it out with whatever? No, they've got to fight them a lot of the time. That's what it comes down to.
I would love to see a scenario where they try to bring one of the arachnids from from Starship Troopers to Earth and say we're going to rehabilitate it and integrate him into our culture. I think it'd be fine. Like once he'll settle in, he just kills everyone around him.
Did you ever read the Alien comics from the 90s?
No.
Oh gosh, no.
I remember though.
They were superb. I used to have all of them, and I didn't realize they'd become valuable, and so I didn't take any care of them. But the story, the first story in the comic series, is of this one lieutenant or commander or something, and he's cybernetically modified the aliens so he can control them, or so he thinks.
I remember this in a novel.
Right, okay. And so he takes them back to Earth, and then of course it turns out he can't control them and just kill him.
Yeah.
And it's just it's that kind of thing where it's like, look, if you've got this remarkably dangerous thing, you're probably not as big brained as you think you might be. Just take the safe route, and it's okay to just eradicate the mindless killing machines. That's actually okay. We're free to do that.
Yeah. It's just such a weird one because the morality and the politics of a game like that are so simple that people just get behind it and have a lot of fun with it. Because ultimately, that's what it's created to do. I don't get the impression that even the devs were trying to make any real-world political statements about this. It's just there to give you a simple framework with a bit of satirical fun in order for you to go and blow up bugs.
I don't want a bout of self-doubt and angst whenever I go into a game to shoot bugs. I don't need that.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about, man.
Yeah. If this was a game where you kill humans, like, okay, fine, you can introduce layers of complexity and moral doubt and stuff, but that's a very different moral framework you're talking about here. These are insectoid monsters that want to kill you. So I think it's fine. And it's just, if this game had come out 10 years ago, I just feel like it would have gotten a much easier ride from games journalists. There wouldn't be this absolute battle over it.
There'd be nothing to say.
Yeah.
A good example of this was the first Deadpool movie. I kind of hated it, actually. It's not that Ryan Reynolds isn't the perfect Deadpool. He absolutely is. For me, it was the gratuitous killing of the mercenaries in the beginning, where he's just murdering these guys, and we're supposed to sort of take pleasure in their death. But it hadn't established that they were necessarily bad guys. They were just hired guns, right?
Yeah.
Like if they'd shown us them killing children or innocents or something like that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, fine, kill those guys. But it's not established, and so as far as I'm concerned, they're just just dudes on a job. And Deadpool's like, haha, bang, 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 bang. It's like, okay, this is a bit fucking much. I actually didn't like it.
I mean, it's definitely the kind of character that Deadpool is because he's 100% an anti-hero. But yeah, I get where you're coming from in the sense that I'm not really 100% behind you on this one.
Yeah, I'm not actually having that much fun with that,
Yeah.
I completely missed it. I just had a good time. I just right over my head.